Holy shit, I think I unlocked the code. So, people are getting into these bad relationships because they're trying out everything they can. They think that'd be a good relationship, right? The relationship you kind of expect. But then just things don't work out because like everyone lives so complicated. Everyone lives complicated lives. A lot of things that matter to you, like in a partner, like they show up. Like there's so many different things to kind of like compare and like how they fit into your life. We also are creatures that want to know the future. So change and major life things is so hard for us. It's absolutely the hardest thing is change. Because there's that feeling of uncertainty. When something changes, everything, all the foundations of what you know currently around you, you perceive the world around you. If something changes in that world that you're not expecting or don't know how to handle, or how it's going to be handled, like it's a big change that it's a lot of unpredictable things. So how do you know if this person that's being introduced into your life is a good change or a bad change? How do you know that you both want the same thing out of this relationship? Our lives are so complicated sometimes that only like certain things that like being able to find someone that agrees with you in a lot of things is so hard. Probably. I don't know. Everyone lives so complicated lives, and like some things that you like really have into your life that are important to you that you'd like a partner to participate in. That's something huge that you can bond over. Like if you know your people, you know who you are. Find your people that had the same kind of wavelength. They understand you. Like that connection comes from understanding. It's within like in these like chaotic world, like we live in chaos and we strive for control. And just having that like that foundational knowledge to know like this is how their world is. How is their world being held up? What values combine to make this world of theirs? What's around them? Like Vin, I just heard say yesterday that like you are a combination of the top 5 people you've been around, or you hang around the most. You are like a combination of them. That's very closely related to your personality. Like, I wonder if, oh my god, so that could actually be tested. That question could actually be tested and like confirmed by science almost. If a person and 5 of their friends use this app, okay, and like take this like personality thing and see how your top 5 friends compared to prove this theory. Like I think this theory is spot on terms of the top 5 people you hang around the most. It has to be. I feel the same way. Like I even like the top 5 people like in your life the most. Like it can be like the streamers too. Like if you watch a streamer or like connect with a streamer on some level and you feel like that connection to them, I think it's the top 5 people you feel most connected to. I think that we got to rephrase that theory. I think it's not the top 5 people you hang around the most, the top 5 people you feel connected most to. That is an interesting theory. Then like the streamers would take it, then you can go search and like have that connected to you, like to see like how close is everything that pulls together. Like what kind of like out of that too, like even then after like they choose the top 5, then we can test on different things. Like how many matches are there? Do you both match on the important things? Like how many important things is like in common with all these top 5 connections. I wonder, like, that has to be something. That has to prove something about personality. I think it does. Like, we're social beings, and how we communicate, like, we communicate that to these 5 people that we connect most to. Like, however we can, or like just feel that connection in our heart. And like you can relate a lot to this person, and like you drive inspiration from this person almost on these things. Like, you see the good in these people, then you focus on like these good parts that you aspire to be. And then that's just like a combination that you make in the world around you. That's how your world perception is. Perspective is. Oh my god, that is a good ass theory. It can be tested. Like, it doesn't even have to be a dating app too. It's like, try these different like things with the data too. Like, we invite people to create an account, take this personality, like put your shit in the personalization engine. I think we need to find a really good marketable term for that. Personalization engine. What what is a search engine going to be called that can personalize someone? Like, what is their personality? Like, a true personality of something. And how do you discover what a personality is for someone? Can you combine that? Then on the cherry on the fucking top, use this to interface with AI. For an AI to like understand you, it needs to be able to store like the information about you, like what kind of life do you live, and then just understanding how, like, what is your preference on, like, on things, like your preference on conversation. What is your preference on conversation? How does the AI capture like how you want to be like talked to, or like what kind of information you want to be like have said? Like, for every conversation, like with there's a different context. Right now, AI only has like one concept, and then otherwise we have to like shove these parameters around the context that it's in. Why not have it adapt based on like your personality? Like, it, with understanding all this context and like everything that you know, it's never gonna ask you like something irrelevant about, oh, I don't know, anything. It could be used. Like, I think shoving this into like AI could, I think AI could do that, like use this. Like, we're trying to create a personality for AI, maybe. Like, everyone has so many different personalities that how do you, like, if you wanted to store that on a computer, how would it know? It needs data. In like this AI context, like language contextual stuff, like AI language model, artificial language model, something, language model, something. It connects things based on context, and like it knows its rules, and like knows its place, and like how much information like you already know, and how much information it's being able to know what you know helps the AI like be more contextual with what it needs, and like it can learn over time. Like, what would it learn over time? Like, it has to learn patterns. And I think we're at the base concept of like trying to create a personality, digitized personality. Like, have a good insight into like who a person is and what you're looking for in that person. Humans love categories. We we place things in categories of good and bad all the time. Like someone's good is not someone like your bad could be someone else's great. It all depends on who you are and like what's important to you and what are you happy to have. Big old personality engine, personalization engine. That's what I'm trying to create. Like, you can capture kind of who someone is based on their personality. And being able to do that, you have to understand like different things about them. Like, what are the core areas that you can understand a person the most and like make the most like connections with? And then like we can gather information about are are you a combination of the top 5 connected or people you have a connection with. That is golden. Because that's also like demonstrates that I think that's a good first experiment too. It's an experiment. It might be a little hard. Okay, so you'd have to create something to be able to like add someone's user ID, like add a friend's user ID to see like how they connect on that app. Then I think like you wouldn't want to give all your friends access to the would you want to give everyone access to like that's a really personal thing too. That's really personal for it can be really personal stuff. Like there at least has to be like a way to mark off categories and like go through the current categories and see what would be sensitive or just have a category for that. Because I don't think like hobbies or possibly even values. I think values would be the most important, and that's like already automatically checked. But if they want to, then they'd want to disc check that. So I think just more like really, they don't need to like the things that they don't need to know, or you can let them know everything. I don't know. Like I want to give people the option to like customize because this is focused on dating, and we want to not. I don't know. Would people feel comfortable with that? At least to some extent, I'd like the ability to allow them to try to match based on whatever they think is relevant and just not share as many much like you could the data privacy. Like they have the option to not share like certain things. It makes people feel more comfortable with the choice. Like if they have the option to, then perfect. But then if you like want to add the extra like, nitty gritty stuff like for fun, then fuck it. Why not? Go for it, dude. I'm not gonna stop you. If you're both comfortable with it, hell, fucking go for it. More information, the better. Oh man, do you also give us option? Like I think it has to be it has like for this research to work, it has to be able to stop. We have to be able to get as much data as we can. uh, I don't know. I don't know the lines in terms of like when you would not like give the option to like not give data, or just at a certain point just say, all right, you are using the tool, so we're just the only thing that's happening is we're recording that. That sounds bad. Like yeah, we're recording that. No, it's more like this data is used for this research. La, la, la. Very important information, trends, what we use it for, just comparisons. What do we use it for? Comparisons, really. Like, see, like, is there a trend with? That's one thing we're testing for. I can't really say like we'd use it for like dating research such as blah blah blah. Name will not like your name will not show up. It's anonymized data. So I think with this dating app really needs a username too. So it needs to have a way to just do a username. So I'm okay with I can't. I guess you can use email and password, but it requires a phone. It requires like a two-factor authentication phone. Like you can only have one account, so that number is only going to be used once. That's a big complicated question with all that, but I think just being strict right off the bat with one phone, one account, one phone number, one account, and then try to keep the travel thing consistent with like once you create your account and like show your location, it like then set like say I'm here, and that's where you are. Like you're gonna be 100 miles from that location. Then if you want to change it, like I don't want people like bouncing around and like it's so easy to do it in the emulator because the emulator has like an easy thing where you can just plop down any location you want, and like then you'd start matching with people over there, and it's like you bounce over here and match with people over here, like just to chat with people. I don't. Is that going to be an issue first up too? Like, do we just add things or like plan to add things to block this stuff and just kind of keep it bare minimum since we might not have the budget to include the security of it? Is it how hard is it going to be like to add that security? It's a big thing though. This is my app development stuff. uh but yeah. Crack the code. Create this personalization engine to try to capture someone's personality of who they are. Try to capture who they are. I don't know if it's like I want to have a different word for it, like some kind of engine that finds out who you are or tries to emulate who you are, like grab the key points and try to represent who you are, maybe. I don't know if AI can truly like could it? Based on like all like values and what you like and preferences, values in like basic like things about like generally them, hobbies, work. So it knows then all right. So truly thinking about this, if an AI knew that where you worked, what you did for work, what you did over your life, so just kind of summaries of I don't know hobbies and how if maybe getting to know someone is how they got to where they were, where they are, like truly knowing someone, like knowing where someone came from or like understanding where they came from and how that differentiates from where they are now, or like if they had it hard, right? Knowing where they came from if it was hard, then you like truly know someone based on that level. Like that creates like a connection of like something that really meant something to them. Like getting to where they are now is that journey what meant a lot to them. So that's something you connect over to understand someone. But can you capture it? Like, oh yeah, I know someone that way. Are there multiple ways to like be able to truly know someone? If someone didn't tell that story of how they grew up, or if you never understood like where they came from or their past, or can you truly know someone if you don't know the past? Only the now? Only the now. Like cut the like an AI like boots up, it only knows a select group of things that you are now. Can you truly understand someone without knowing the past? AI has no recollection whatsoever. It was born 0.0001 milliseconds ago, and it has to understand you right now. The fastest way an AI can just look at you and go, I know who you are. What information would it need to get to that the fastest? Can you truly know someone without having a history of where they came from? What they did growing up, how they acted growing up, how their thoughts changed as they grew up, how they learned different things, why they like different things. Can you truly understand someone without knowing this? Would an AI know without the past? Because what I'm essentially trying to do is capture who you are in this instant. in this very instant. And like, can you do that without knowing the past? Like, people insert all this stuff about who they are. Like, you can never truly know someone without these stories, maybe. About hearing the things that they do and why they do them. Can you capture that? I think everything about a person just needs more context. And you need to understand, maybe you just need to understand why they do what they do. I think maybe you don't need the past, you just need to understand why they would. We love to predict the future, and could you like with your best friend, can you say like you can predict what they would do in a situation? Like, can you emulate that? Because with with the closer people to me, I think I could emulate it. I could like with that emulation, you form that connection and know what makes them happy. Like things that you could do to make them happy. Just being around them makes you happy. So you can predict how to make them happy. Like we want to find that future to make someone happy, right? And also ourselves happy. As a change it. Gosh. You get lost down these rabbit holes because personality is so confusing. How do you capture it? How do you understand someone based in an app? What is the best way we can get there right now? Stage 1, answer things about ourselves. Just answer these questions and try to make these connections. See which of these things matter in personality, if it matters in personality. Is the ability to predict someone's actions enough for a deeper connection? I think that forms a good connection. I think that's one of the many ways that can be formed connections can be formed. Like that's one route. Or it could be like a supplement to another route. Or it can be a combination of routes. Like no one dating adventure is ever the same. You connect with people in so many different ways. There's so many different ways to connect. But right now it's just we want to form the connections with the people that like us, want to be with us. Like I'm the person they're looking for type us. I think that's what we are looking for. Like the person that truly wants to be with us and would like having someone that will like go head over heels for you and like that and you vice versa. Like, holy crap, this person's awesome. Holy crap, this person's awesome. And then you just awesome together and then you're just awesome. That's an excellent description of the app. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome plus awesome equals awesomer. Go be awesomer together. Find your awesome. Awesome. Awesome, bossum, sick 'em in the rock. That's my backup name. Awesome. Unless it's already used for something. Ha ha, dating. How do you know where you want to be? Dating, dating, where are you? I want to be here with you. I just can't find you here, way out here, inside the lair. I'm waiting, waiting, where are you? I needed you. Yeah, I hope you need me into dun, dun. Song inspired by Harry Potter. Do 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 do. So personality. I think being able to extract this data and use it in AI, this will also have AI applications, and this has like this whole engine. Like I'm not designing it just for dating. I'm designing it to find who you're looking for. And a piece of who you're looking for is knowing the other person, knowing this other personality. Like knowing how they'd react, knowing how like to talk to them, knowing things about them, being able to form these connections. Braid overload. It needs to be dynamic. It needs to be planned to be so fucking advanced and dynamic, but simple. Like we understand its core, because its core is at the simplest. It's really finding these connection between these relevant things, and to do that, like we have no connect. Like we don't have. We're floating in space with all these data points, and they only truly connect when we try to use them. Like they're all untouched. And then if we touch them and try to use it and it doesn't work, then it didn't work. But if we find something that works and it forms this connection, that's a huge development. That's a huge development in online dating. If we can actually find like this like really true connection. And like we find all the true connections in the universe, then we know how to make connections. That have escalated quickly. It's exponential. Like trying something is better than zero. We're a mile ahead. Like 1 year we weren't on the moon, and the next year we were on the moon. That's a huge leap. Let's get out of our planet and travel the solar system. Discover what's out there. Discover true possibility. Discover hope. Discover hope for online dating. It's out there. It has to be. We've invented other things before. Why can't we invent this? We're awesome inventors. Like, humans created a lot of things to get here. We had a journey of like creation, creativity, ingenuity. Like, we strive to be better. We strive to make our life more comfortable. We strive to make everyone comfortable. Striving for no worries. Like, striving for comfort. Like, determinability. Like, knowing something's going to be done against the chaos. We love our order in the world around us. We don't like chaotic change. We want to settle down sometime and just watch on your calm planet as the chaos ensues in the universe. It's like, at least I have you. At least I have you. We're on the same planet. we're in the same world perception. Similar world perceptions. Vibrating at different frequencies, different wavelengths. We keep getting these terms, and like I think this is what converts that. I think this is the feeling for converting and trying to understand how this feels. Like the feeling we're searching for. And it takes time to build this stuff. It takes time to build that connection. But everyone just somehow it doesn't work. Like, is it the too fast connections? Is it just people live these complex lives that like we don't really connect on things? Just we don't know the other person. It's like we tried it and it's like, oh, we understand that we don't connect on these things, but then how do you check all these different things before you talk to someone? Like, these conversations die out so fast because there's no connection. And guys don't really have a choice to be that picky. They can't. There's so much out there right now. There's so much choice out there. And then with the low probability of getting a match in the first place, it's so much better to shoot the shot. The chances are so much better. But then all the ladies are getting all the likes, and sometimes it's overwhelming. Like, you have so much choice, or I'm imagining, I don't know how it works, but I'm imagining a lot of women just get like 200 like likes on their profile, like on their dating profile, right? It's like, holy crap, I got 200 likes. Then you open it up and like everyone's hidden. Everyone that you that liked you is hidden. Okay, so awesome, I got likes, but now I have to find them. Oh my, what? What is this? I don't like that system. Like, awesome, I get a bunch of likes. I mean, yeah, people like me. Like, why not? Because I'm fucking gorgeous. But how am I supposed to compare and like find the one I'm looking for? Right? So like, and on top of that, like, I don't know which order you're giving me these in. And how do I compare all these things when I only get like, I can either only left swipe or right swipe, but then if I right swipe, then it's like I'm locked in this thing where I have to talk to them. Or like I just like them and like I keep passing because I got all these other likes I have to go through. Do I like everyone, then like have all these guys messaging me at the same time? Or I don't know how the system goes. Like, that sounds awful. That sounds so awful. I hate that system. That system needs to get tossed in the trash heap, man. That's a gross system. That doesn't create connections. That's so muddled. Like, yeah, I understand like everyone can be like a potential match, but these complex lives don't work like that. It's not everyone that likes you is going to work out. It's just not nowadays almost. Like, things only work out like most of the time because if you're outside, you're already doing the thing that you'd like to be doing or have a connection because you're doing a similar thing as another person. Awesome. But everyone's lives are so complex, so you might pass them because you only spend 1 day a week doing that thing. Or like 2 times a month. Because you only need this one thing to connect, but you have to be at the same place at the same time. You can't do that in online dating. Everyone's everywhere. And you're hitting a global variable of all. That's all we're getting is a pool of all. Then you offer these like subset of filters that they're pretty targeted. They're pretty targeted. They're like the basic ones are fairly decent. I'll give them that. It hits on some of them, and like a lot of things, like it's a really good first start for filters. It's a good potential. Like, it highlights the best of filters with it like a very small subset of filters. Maybe that's where we need to start, but the app definitely needs to grow into this personalization engine. Yeah, all right. It has to grow into that. That has to be the future plan because the personalization engine is. I'm like on the first piston. It's a one piston vehicle right now. And we might need more. It's one pin in the machine. And I think that's an important pin. I think that pin can do a lot. That pin can do a lot. Like, it's maybe slow processing and we're still like in its infancy of growing this connection. But after we get this, the basis of the app can be like formed and plugged in around this system almost. It can be modular. Just add different things to it. Another like data point, and then use that data to create another tool, or even get that information from a different tool, or just be able to test things, compare the information easily, allow people to specify different things in their life, and when we can use that information to connect and ask questions and try to answer questions. I think this theory is really good to test. You are the combination of the top 5 connections in your life. I bet you will find similarities across all these different question categories. What's your favorite sports? Or what's your favorite games? Or do you like gaming in general? Or do you like makeup in general? Do you like traveling in general? It's all these different connections are just waiting to be formed. Let's create connections. Maybe that should be the name of the podcast. Let's create connections. LCC. A weight-lift company. LCC. LCC. It's LLC, but this is LCC. Dropped an L for a C. Let's create connections. It's all around us, waiting to be formed. We have the range to be sane as we go about our day and go no more, no more, no more, no more these dating apps. I don't like it. I don't like it. The connections are hard to make, and I haven't got to say there's not much progress in this endeavor. Let's create connections and let's find out who I'm looking for. Find out who I'm looking for. Let's find them. Let's find them. Let's find them among the graves. I want to have a compass so that I may find my way, find my who. I'll find my what. I'll find my one. For me, you'll see. For you, you'll see. One day, I will find you. One day, I found you here. It's all so clear. The many things I don't, the things I want, the things I've always been looking for. You're everything I've ever wanted. You match all of my important things, because it's the personalization engine. It doesn't have a good ring to it, except it's kind of fun to say. Personalization engine, personalization engine. I had some other ideas that I had. I thought about P-I-E. It stood for personalization, identity engine. Is that a good name? I don't know. I need some help. Maybe I should pose the question to Reddit. What would you call this? 42-second question. 42-second or 42-minute question. That'd be funny. It's like, here's my question, guys. Can I get it answered? Post the whole thing. No. You wrote us a Bible worth of words, and then you ask the question. How dare you? What do you call this? It makes sense to me, you see. I need some way to know where you will stay. Is ready working on such a thing. I wanna be part of the team, but I wanna be a subset of that team to test on the population nation. What is this? I've seen it before. You've always had to restore. Internet went out and mortgage. All right. Cool. What would be a good name though? Personalization engine. That's truly trying to create this, understand someone as who they are right now. That's kind of the like goal for it. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Here it is. Found it. So in the personalization engine, this is going to be version 1. So the personalization engine is supposed to have all these different categories, right? You got hobbies, you got hobbies, lifestyle, hobbies, lifestyle, entertainment, future state, and who they're looking for. Right, the basics. Like it's a really, like I said, like a really good start. Like it has some good information in there. It's pretty good. Um, it's not enough to know someone completely, but it's a good start. Like if you have to like go based on like a couple fields, fine. That's fine. But okay, but what if that's like the first building block in the personalization engine? So it's like you got vitals here. Yeah, just vitals. Maybe do the triple V thing like Hinge did. Is that stealing? Like to do the same exact like important fields? It can't be stealing, right? I mean, it's already there. Like it's already the information I'd want to have. Maybe add something else. Maybe make it a little bit different. Like I don't want to steal. Like, is it stealing ideas if you just do it? Like, hey, fucking steal my idea. Please fucking steal it. Someone needs to do it, and if you have some idea other than make profit, then I think you'll be fine. Like, we'd just make it happen. Like, I don't care how the fuck it happens, but I mean, if you want to do it, I mean, I'm willing to help you out. If I'm not in like a state where like I'm already having my own thing and you're trying to compete against me now, but this is more of like I'm in a like I need help stage. So if you want to like combine forces and like actually truly make this vision happen, and just not fuck people over anymore. Like it's maybe if I get offered, but I can't. Like if things get started, this is like before everything, so but if things get started, it's already too late. Like the ball already this is an avalanche now. I think once it gets out and like this is actually a thing, this is a fucking avalanche. It's like we've never had this before. Like holy shit, like this tool is free now. Someone created a free version. Holy shit, it's only like a couple $100 a month to like run or $1,000 a month to run. Oh, we only need to pay like 5 grand a month to get this running. Like, holy shit! Like, the community can raise that. Like, hell, we've raised a lot more money for less. If everyone pitched in, what, 1,000 people pitched in $5 to have, what, 1 million people create connections. So it's like 500,000 connections for five or 1,000 $5 donations. What kind of ratio can we create based on like how much money's been put into this versus like how many connections have been created? That'd be a good statistic. I'd like that one. That's a good indicator. How much does it cost to create a relationship app? Let's count this shit. What kind of resources per month are we spending? What's the cost for this? Because I want to see like, hey, you guys made 140, like $240 million. How many connections have been created? Can't imagine that statistic's too good. I mean, it's better than nothing, but also, I don't like the system. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. Just how everything's going. I think we need something new. Just something new. We need to try something else. Like, if anything, like if everything doesn't feel right, I mean, it's like this area in our lives isn't feeling great right now. It's not feeling great for me. So I kind of want to fix that. I want to fix it for everyone. Since I've seen it time and time and time and time again. It's all these like failed connections on these dating forums. Like, why can't I find anyone? Like, it's the same story with guys. Like, everyone is having issues with their dating profile. Everyone has like I've seen all these like data statistics of, hey, I've swiped like 500,000 times and like 500 of them I got matches, and then out of that 400, like maybe even like 375 of them is just like no response. Like, it's already like, even like when you get the small chance of getting a match, it's just no response. Because on the other end, like, ladies are just trying to swipe and try to find out who likes them. Like, maybe they can do like a little bit of filter, but like maybe they're probably not as picky either. Like, we just want to find that connection. Like, that's like, yeah, that might be a good connection, but then like our lives are so complex that we aren't finding what we're looking for, and it's so hard to like tell who this other person is based on just these like little prompts. And like a lot of people don't even film like into like be able to capture who they are. It's so hard. Like, being a writer is a profession for a reason. You captivate people's hearts. Marketing's good for a reason because you know how to get people's attention. We rely on our human instincts to like guide us in this, and we're using it against us. Everything's against us right now, and we need to turn the tables. We need to find a way to like sort through this chaos, to find it's like our lives gotten so much more complex. Like, probably didn't have to worry about so many things. We probably focused on that one thing. We mastered that one thing to be as helpful as we can because it was so hard to do things. But now we have the capability to do a lot more. We have so much more complex thinking paths. We have so many more options presented to us. There's so many different paths we can take in this world. There's so many different paths. We have so much opportunity here. But right now we're just floating in the sea. We don't have this like rope to guide us. We're not pulling our, like, if we don't pick a direction, then we're just kind of floating on the sea without like some guidance. So we're just going wherever life takes us. But we have no control over, like, when we try to go down the dating path, we have no control over trying to find the person we're looking for, since a lot of people probably aren't what we're looking for. Our expectations are too high. We don't want our already complex life to get like super complex and how much are you willing to sacrifice for this relationship? Are you on the same wavelength of this person? Do you do the same thing so you can spend more time with this person? What do you have in common that connects you to this person? And out of the things that, like I said, like maybe do the thing like 2 times a month, and that's enough. That one thing is enough to get started. I think like to go even deeper, like when people get to understand this person, then they understand their values and understand like why they do what they do, and do you agree with them? It's like, yeah, that sounds like a good life, or like, yeah, I agree with those values. I agree with why you'd pick that, or I understand that you do that, but that's kind of weird. But you're good. I like you still. I understand where you're coming from. Like you explained like all your like the backstory of like why you think this instead of just like I don't like it because I'm grumpy. But no, there was actually like a negative thing. It's like, oh, in that case, that makes that understandable. You challenge the reality, like challenge your reality. Then you understand that they are who they are. Do you like who they are? At the core of it, like, do you like who they are? Like for me, a really good indication of like if I really like this person is if they'd match with like either anime, gaming, or some kind of activity that we could do together, like pickleball or thrifting, or those would probably be less though because like you spend the most time doing one thing. Like if they could, you're both cool with like different like things to watch, maybe even like being able to watch like the same show. I think that's a really good connection, but shows are really hard to match with. I think you have to go like I think there's certain things that you can include. I think you can either include like Netflix or like you. I think we can go just a little bit like subpar with this, with saying the different brand, like different streaming platforms and how important it is to you. I don't think different streaming platforms would be that important though. I don't. Can you match over streaming platforms? If you're saying like you really want to create a connection around like watching movies or something, I think you just need to know what they watch, and that's so much harder to calculate. You can't have a variable that says all the movies in the world. That needs to be like a back end system that processes all the movies you watch and your rankings of them, and what the common theme within all of them is, and trying to interpolate, have an AI interpolate the different personalities of that show, trying to determine if your personality kind of matches that, like match that character's personality. Like what if you like if you watch people that share the same personality, like how often does that happen? Do you try to lean toward like people that seem more you're like connected to, more your personality as the main character? I don't know. I think people just need like a little foundation of like what they know. But then some people really connect with like not knowing either. It's confusing, guys. It's so confusing. I just need data. Data is the key to everything. We are creatures that invent things. Let's keep inventing. Let's keep innovating. Keep being creative. Let's never give up. We are not the race to ever give up. We always strive. Strive for better. Always go up. Go to the moon, they said. Go to Mars, they said. Get out of the solar system, they said. When speaking of space, it's amazing what humans can do. Now we have satellites everywhere. We're able to track these things. We're able to track the motions of planets. We're able to create a telescope that like sees the surface of the sun. that normally blind you, or just see outside the solar system, or capture high definition photos of all these different planets. Like, we're just advancing more and more. Computers, games, movies, graphics cards, food, everything. How do you compete with that? How do you compete with this constant strive toward better? How much better can we get? Like, I think we're hitting like the human peak. And that's why we need AI. Because we exponentially like went up so quick, but there's some things that really slowed down. Like processors really slowed down. They're like getting slightly faster, but only by like 20%. But still, that's really good. But, well, we did make smaller processors. AMD made that like 7 nanometer. Anyway, just creating these tiny nanometer things to be in our processors, to process information, do a bunch of ones and zeros really, really quick. Being able to accurately measure that, like, holy crap, science. No reason why we can't science the shit out of ourselves either. It's prime for it. We have computers that can track this stuff and interpolate this data quickly on a massive scale. Let's try it. Let's try it. All right. That's going to be it, but thank you all for watching or listening, and oh my gosh, please. I see the future. It's so close. I just need to program this out or just get it rolling. Like, the avalanche needs to start. Let's start the avalanche. Woo! All right. New idea. We have a thing called contextual memory. So the idea is, as you're growing up, you try more constantly to remember things since you identify them as you see them changing. Because in the world, you see a bunch of chaos going around, you make sense of it. When you create these examine these different pieces and solidify them in your life, then you create this foundation you can stand on to kind of walk in this world to like be able to navigate the world, right? And if a couple puzzle pieces shift, fine. But there's sometimes this like core piece that kind of shatters everything else. I was actually thinking of a different one. So I could do that. Or also, I was thinking about how people, as you get older, you selectively remember things too. As you get older, you understand like you can't remember everything. There's a lot of things to remember. You're just remembering and remembering. There's so many different events that happen. There's so many different people that you've seen, so many different conversations you've had, so many different things you've done. And how do you remember that all? You categorize and place things in a different bucket. And you say, like, this moment, nothing really happened in this moment, so I'm going to delete that chunk and go about, like remember, like, the important thing when you turned. Like, if you're in a car, like, a long car drive, you just kind of phase out for a minute because you're just already, like, nothing's happening. You're driving straight, you have the there's no change in consistency with the drive. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is, like, keep the steering wheel in the center of the road. That's a passive process. If there's nothing in front of you, you've got clear road, like, you have to be deep in your thought at that point, or just kind of listening to music, or just you're doing something else. Because no one can just like keep sitting still in a moment of no change. Nothing, like, without change, the world is dark. With light, we see all these different things happening around us. But then our brain, like as we grow older, we just kind of like we filter the things at the external out to focus on the things that matter now. We've optimized ourselves to forget, so we have more rooms to remember what actually matters. That's one way to look at it. Or we just forget because nothing's changing and we don't like, it doesn't stimulate the memory neurons to say, hey, these things are changing, or like, hey, something happened in this moment outside of the normal. Like, oh yeah, you care about something in this moment. You're like, oh, you really enjoy the scenery at this moment, so we're gonna keep marking that one down. I don't know, anything that you don't like find important, you don't remember. So the more things you find important, the more things you remember. Like, things are important, like even like in a job instance. So we have this example of you've typed in a number so many times, or like know that account numbers by heart, and it's either by the repetition. No, that's not even gonna do that. That's one example of memory. So like that's the practiced memory. It's like even if you like forget the number, like you can still like it's even like your body remembers the motion remembering. So we have motion memory, the memory of like actually knowing the number that you type in all the time, like an account number or an ID or password. Then you remember things because they're useful, because they pop up a bunch that saves you like 10 minutes of time, which for me is like PowerShell. I always remember how to make my recursive loop PowerShell script because I always find one command that I need to recurse on like all these different accounts. So I just do that. Or like the filtering commands, because that's super useful to know how to filter things. Setting variable, like just knowing the things that come up the most and are most useful, those are the things I remember because they're useful. If I hear someone's name one time and like never talk to them in the next 16 months, or I know that, so it's like, why trying to remember in the first place? Why try that memory? Because I can always find that information later, and it doesn't need to stay in my like life memory bank. Because my life, or my life RAM memory, I'm trying to relate it to a computer. I think like us, we operate much like a computer. A computer that's connected with fluids and hoses, and skin, and muscle, and bone, and everything life has, a body has, all these different pieces working for us. Little white blood cell defenders are our blood. Heart that beats strong. Strong like an ox. Like an... I don't know how an ox sounds, actually. I did like a higher pitched moo. Sounds like a baby dragon. Shut up, baby dragon. He ate my head. I offended the king. The king shall reach his vengeance upon deadly wicked sinner. All right, memory. So yeah, we remember what we really want to remember, and that's what making things memorable is, finding the important things in that moment. And what do you find important? Let's find out what you find important and like incorporate that into dating and see if that makes a connection. That's what the important button does. Do you find this important? Let's see if important things matter in dating. I think a lot of important things matter because I find them important. I find it important to find like a girlfriend that gamed. I find that important, like something I do so often. I'd really at least like her to like gaming. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a gamer See, now I'm talking from my heart, and I understand, like, I think that's, like, my first non-negotiable to try. Like, outside of this normal list, I'd love to try to find that gaming. And you don't see many of those on the app. You just don't. You get, like, one maybe every 40? 1 in 40? And what? If I spent 1 minute per profile looking at it, it'd take me 40 minutes to find one person. If that was my non-negotiable, that's 40 minutes. Unless I was truly looking for that one specific thing. But there's so many more factors than just that one. I'd love to be able to filter by trying to find out if they did a specific thing, or they had a specific values, or a specific set of values. I'd at least like to try to find out, like, if they think these things, and I'm really good with these. Like, she hits all the, like, top 10 important things, plus my non-negotiables. Like, who is this person? Did I find a unicorn? Am I in mystical fuckland? Holy shit! That was probably the most worst name for a place. Or the best. I don't know. I want to go there. Mystical fuckland. I'm a Harry Potter. Harry, there's magic in the phone. There's magic. No magic outside the school. I don't need no mystical fucklands in my coffee. In my phone. Coffee. I'm energized. Power to the player. Mystical fuckland. Here we come. I bet all the lords and ladies would love to see you fucking in the mystical fuckland. Harry, who is this weird fellow? Oh, that's just Handred. Handred. Get out of the cell phone, Handred. I want everything. What the hell? Who invited the whale? Blast hoist.
I don't know who I am anymore. Who am I, Daddy?
I am your father, not your daddy. That was my rendition of a lot of things. Harry, what happened? What happened to Handred? Where did Handred go? He's with us in our heart. Huh? I forgot his voice. I can't do Harry's voice. Harry, I can barely do Ron's. Harry! Help me! I'm going down the toilet! He's gone. He's no more. He said his selective memory. Yeah, with us having phones all the time, it's so easy to just remember things or like be reminded of things. Like before, like having like the PDAs were the shit, or like having like the calendar to let you know when shit's happening. Like there's a reason why every productivity app has a calendar. Like something you have to remember in the future. Just calendars are useful. Time is useful. It allows us to do more things, like more coordinated things. Be somewhere at the same time, at the exact time that we both exactly know about. It's like, meet me here at morning. What time morning? Morning, stupid. It's like, am I gonna wait somewhere for like 4 hours to determine like when morning is morning to them? Or is it like right at the peak of dawn and everyone knows when to wake up exactly at the same time for morning? No alarm clock morning? Oh boy. Well, at least they're your next door neighbor, so you can knock. uh, we remember things. We remember important things. Some people remember more things than other people because we strive to be the laziest as we can, the most efficient as we can, spend the least energy thinking because thinking hurt. There's a lot of thinking to be had, and you can't think all the time. It's just chaos up there all the time then. Think about this and different things, then you toss a little emotion to that pot, and it's like, oh, I'm thinking about all these emotions now. They're important to me. Uh-oh. Something's happening. The change is coming. Oh shit. The chaos storm. It's another wave, Captain. Brace the ship. Lock up. Then they lock up. Optimize efficiency. We do that all the time. Like we don't like repetitive tasks. We want to make them interesting. We don't want to change our situation to be like the bestest it can be. If I'm gonna keep doing the same exact thing over and over again, I damn well at least should enjoy it. You try to find some enjoyment in it, and that's what we strive for. That's what we want. We want to bring this enjoyment out, but it's hard to do that with like a thing you've done so many times that you have no control over. We need control over our dating lives. We need some remnants of control that we can grab onto and just pull toward what we're looking for. It's a crazy chaos storm out there. If we let some of that chaos in, it fucks up a lot of things. Like, if I like agree to this relationship, then it's gonna take a lot of commitment. Or like we never really connected, but they're the only person I could find out there in the rough seas. So I have to make this work. It's like, I wanna be your lighthouse. That's what he said to me. I wanna be your lighthouse so you can find me. I wanna see your lights out there in the sea. I know the waves are harsh, and there's a lot of things to see. But guided by your heart and everything you think, you found your way to me. I'm just a soul, really. I have a lot of songs, they mean a lot to me. Calling from the darkness, I hope you'll find your way to me. Throwing up my rope, I cast it out to sea. I felt a little tug and I knew it. I hoped you'd be the one for me. Sometimes the line had snapped, sometimes it was too much to bear. It just didn't feel right, since it was not you there. I see you in my mind. I see you in my dreams. You're the one for me all the time, you see. All the time, you see. I want to be the one from the coming storm. I wish to calm the seas. Get rid of all that darkness, only to see the world in front of me. I see that you're the one that shone the brightest to me. In my heart I knew you're the one dream I see. Dun 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 dun. How dare you ever see? That's a weird theory about how I'm being able to think of all these ideas. So, due to my lack of social ability skills, I think, because I don't hang around people a lot, but when I do, I think I'm just a very one way. Maybe. I don't know. I feel weird. Social make me feel weird. Anyway, due to this, I'm able to like see as like a newborn trying to learn things by example of how social interactions kind of seem from the outside or maybe the inside. I don't know. Like we've been trying to capture this feeling, like capture people like on TV and on the internet and in movies and all these different forms of media that like we have all like we now have access to all these different personalities, and that's what I've been exposed to all these years. Been exposed to every type of personality there is. Like on the internet, there's so many different personalities that you have to kind of like narrow down to see like who is this person. You just kind of like try to pull as much information from that text as you can. Like, why would they say that in this situation? Why would they this, that? It's like, that's not even the theory. The theory is, that was the explanation of the theory. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. But I think it has to do with like social skills and just being able to like detect change, detect like trying to get a consensus of how people feel and like the general tactics people are trying to do, or the like sense of the general dating environment right now, and understanding like both sides of like why the system's trying to like failing itself. Why aren't people getting these connections? And that's what I've been like really looking for. Like I'm not looking for just a simple dating app. I'm just looking for connections. I want people to connect in any way. Like I've been thinking from the very start, like, yes, I'm trying to solve the problem of like the dating app thing, but what's the core consensus of like what's the core of trying to like find a date? It's not much different than finding a friend or trying to find a job that you like. It's just trying to find a thing or a group that you like or you think you'd fit in. Things that like you'd vibe with. Things that you both care about. Things that like essentially as a group you all are striving for this thing. You're a smaller part in the something bigger. Or you're the biggest part of someone's life. Or you're on equal ground where you both like to do these things and care about these same things. You just want to do this certain thing together because they think you're a cool person, or you think they're a cool person. It's all these different things and all these different connections that make us who we are. So it can evolve to more than dating, but dating is a good market to be in It's a fabulous market to be in because it's so bad right now. We have other ways to connect for jobs. We have other ways to connect with friends, but that one's next. I find it harder since, yeah, I just find that harder. Like even like the meetup thing, like you never really get a good consensus of like how the group's like general like vibe is before you join, and then you join, then I guess all you have right then is the activity. Like you can bond over the activity, but sometimes if you don't like have that vibe with someone, it might not work out as well. I don't know. As long as you know like everyone understands each other, then people can be more open. Or you just be more open in general. I don't know, it's just the comfortability level. Like we strive for comfort, and what we have isn't comfortable. Like we don't know what we're doing. I don't know. It's like our lives got more complicated, and dating got so much more complicated. On top of that, because our lives got easier. With our lives being easier, we never adapt to like these harder things are like really really hard, and like having someone else help with that, like a small thing, is like sometimes it's good. Sometimes like that's a really big commitment. Sometimes you can't solve it on your own, like there's a lot of choice we have. I don't know. I think that's just part of it. Part of a bigger picture that we're not seeing. We got to create this small spark. We got to create a spark. Got to create the avalanche. I'm walking in circles right now. The ravings of a madman. The madman I fear. The madman has ideas. Oh no.
We can't have that now.
No. The bad man is the bad man.
The madman is the bad man.
Oh yeah. You're right.
What happened to you, sir? Why do you speak like that?
I am the maddest of men. Thank you, Slayer.
You're welcome. There's a tiger in my room.
Oh, don't worry. That's Tony, the Riger. Oh, he's in heat tonight. We are safe from copyright. Tony the Riger. Nice sidetrack. I was gonna play Slime Rancher too, but then Xbox Pass failed me. It kicked me out. I was looking for a casual game, and I don't think we have any casual games out anymore. Like a nice little platformer, just nice little cute game, or like without like the Unreal Engine graphics, or like a unique like how Nintendo used to be. Right now it still is kind of. I don't know. You need a nice like simple platformer or Pokemon game or something. But right now we just have like action games and yeah, actions, RPGs, shooters, story. Like, what if a game was just based on the mechanics? Like you didn't need story, you didn't need multiplayer, you just had mechanics. Or some kind of progression system. Progress through the levels, the simple ones. Like you're presented the option before you, and you find your own answers. Those are the games I like. The ability to find like do your own thing, or just do what you think is best, or just have the opportunity to try different things. Like in a different way that doesn't. It's nice to have like the super creativity of the things too, but I wanted it more focused of like, hey, you just presented these things as not like it's the closest thing. Like we want to do things as optimally as well. So we want to have like different optimal routes, not just the one. We like it to be balanced. We like it to feel similar, but like completely different depending on like balance with your skill level. We like that. We like being able to improve. We like the skill gap. We like trying to get better. Problem with games is that people adapt so quick now that it's like, oh, this core mechanic. Oh yeah, this works like this. Then we're already at that level of all FPS shooters kind of like carry over like some kind of skill set, accuracy, being able to adjust for recoil or snapshotting or just the movement of the game, just movement in general, like spacing. There's so many different factors to consider while just playing a game that a lot of that information can transfer over. But that also hurts like the initial population too. So now there's a range of people that like even just first starting the game, they're at the very bottom. I can't like there's no it's already like a skill set that people have already acquired. Like someone the same age as you or like the other person already put in like so many hours into gaming that they're already that's so gaming was so new and now people know it and now people are like gods at it because once we get our hands on games it's like yep we know exactly what we're doing. Pick up this new game, run and shoot. Oh, we got sliding mechanic. Oh, we got jumping mechanic. We got ledge grabs. We got so many different things. We understand mechanics and we can get more complex with these mechanics. But sometimes it's just kind of nice to play. Like sometimes like those systems work well sometimes, but if you just add it and then like use that as like a hindrance to you. Like I was playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor and it's a beautiful game. Don't get me wrong, beautiful game, probably like a really good story. Like it's detailed, it captures like the personalities like well. It's like he's so nonchalant sometimes and like he's skilled at it and like him and BD has a long relationship and all the different story building and like world building aspects are there. I love that part. That's great. The problem comes is now you introduce open world, like a more like open world, like kind of open world linear campaign thing. Like you have different points on the map that you can run to, and it's kind of dark. It also combines Dark Souls, where like you can die and like the person that killed you inherits the souls, and if you kill that person, then you get your like experience back from when you died. It's a nice like death checkpoint system. Instead of like losing all your progress and going back and not getting a chance to get your XP back or the items you dropped or whatever, you can just go back there and like get a little bonus for like making it back. But the puzzles and the environment and the map killed it for me. It's killing it for me. So the puzzles sometimes like the game wasn't built for puzzles. Pushing things around or like tugging on the environment. And it's nice thematically, but also like there's not a good flow to it. It stops movement. I want to get faster at it. But like I can't like identify where the things are, so I can't run to it. Like it's a beautiful game, but also I want to go fast. I'm a fast runner. Like I want to go like if there's a level, I want to find the fastest way through it. I want that challenge of being able to complete it faster. Instead of like sitting down and like shooting at something for like 5 minutes to like progress, I want it based on skill, based like to just run around, shoot, and survive, and like take on as many enemies as I can, like push my limits, instead of having the slowness of trying to drudge through something. Sometimes it's good, but also if you're gonna make me stop for like every 5 minutes for like an easy battle that I could easily have just run past, and my reward is like an experience system that gets me more abilities that honestly too easy at the beginning. I don't know. But also like everything's like so slow. It's like a bunch of like roadblocks in the game. And on top of that, like how slow the map is. I don't know where I'm supposed to go, so then I have to like look at the map and go, all right. So I'm on this level thing here because it's a 3D map, so I'm like scrolling around like trying to find out where I am and where I came from, and you have to rotate the map for that. And then understanding like, oh yeah, I'm right here, and then like looks like I have like some kind of path that winds through here, maybe. And over to the objective over here, I guess. Okay. Then I've already spent like a minute looking at like where I'm supposed to go. And then like I have to run around and like try to find the like area because sometimes they add these little cracks in the environment. So these cracks, as a gamer, I am very experienced with these cracks. And you can't go through them in those games. They get filtered out for me because it doesn't even register. It just registers like, oh, that's part of the wall. I'm done. I skim over it because that's what it was. It's a wall. But no, you can actually fit through there and like slowly like drudge your way through. It's an I spy inside the environment that I don't like because I can't spot cracks like that. And I don't want to spot cracks. Also, looking at the map every 2 seconds is not fun because it takes 3 seconds to load because you have to like. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Then the puzzles, you just look around, like there's this one part where it's like, oh yeah, you need to go across this gap. Or actually, it showed me a dead end. I think it was a dead end. So like, part of the map just kind of like goes off and like hangs over like a tall area with a bunch of stormtroopers at the bottom that you could jump down and kill yourself. Then it's like all the way across the gap is like where I needed to go. It's like it's an unjumpable gap. There's nothing to grab. So I was like, all right. So I go back and like try to, yeah. Then it made you go back through the environment when you got to a certain checkpoint, and then go back to where you were to be able to cross because you didn't have the tool to be able to cross before. And going back through the environment was kind of confusing. So the navigation of the thing isn't good. But I did like the combat a little bit. But there's a shame that the combat sequences are so short. Like, one swing kills one enemy. Maybe like one combo kills another. And you had like the semi-good guys that had three phases to them. Like you went through like one phase and hit him, then you regain shield, then you go through the same like knock down a shield again, and hit him, and he does it again. Yeah, that's my review of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I didn't like it very much, but it was very pretty. It probably had a really good story and world. That's what EA keeps doing. Like they have a really good like graphics and all that jazz, but the story elements kind of fall through, huh? They're good for making sports games. EA Sports. Yeah, the like Need for Speed games. What else do they make? Wasn't there a good one? They've really nailed down the world and graphics. What are they on right now? Like, what is their game? What's their latest release? EA. Latest games from EA. We have Sims 4 for rent. Oh, they're still making DLC for Sims 4? I mean, I guess a lot of people still would play that, wouldn't they? W2C, no idea what that is. Then they made EA Sports UFC 5, NHL 24, FC 24, FC Mobile, Immortals of Avium. No idea what that is. Madden 24, Sims House Ranch, or Horse Ranch, F1, Super Mega Baseball, Lord of the Rings, Heroes of the Middle Earth. That sounds cool. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, PGA Tour, Wild Hearts. Oh, Dead Space. Dead Space was a good one. Need for Speed Unbound, no. More FIFAs, Maddens, that, and Grid Legends. So yeah, they have a lot of sports games, and then they have like a couple. But what they have, like Lord of the Rings is a big one. Star Wars was a big one. Wild Hearts, I played like a couple seconds of that. Yeah. Wasn't satisfying enough for me. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm looking for in a game. It's all about feeling. It's a feeling. A feeling we find.